So let's begin. In yesterday's class, we had done distinguish between producers and consumers, right, children? And then towards the end, we saw an important point that producer can become a consumer and a consumer can become a producer. And we also saw an example. Let me see who will give me the example. What was the example? How can a producer become a consumer?
From a farmer, he's a producer of grain, but he will have to be a consumer of milk products.
Yes, a farmer is if if he's a producer of grain, he can be a consumer of milk products, right? And how can a consumer be a producer?
A doctor is a consumer of shoes if he's in need, but he's a producer of the medical services.
Of the medical services, okay. The doctor, although he's a consumer of shoes, but he is a producer of what? Medical services. Clear? Clear, children, till here? Everyone is clear till here?
Yes.
Okay, let's go on to the next page, next topic. Now, in the next page, you have 3 stories given. Can you go on to the next page? Yes. There are 3 stories given over here. We will go through these stories, and then I want you all to tell me that how these stories are connected or related to producers and consumers, okay, from economic point of view. Ready, everyone? Number 1, the story is of King Midas' touch. Have you heard this story before? King
Yes,
Midas'
ma'am.
touch?
He touches and everything turns to gold, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Because of his greediness, he wanted it, he had made this wish to the magician, right? Isn't it? And
Yes,
then
ma'am.
what was his condition when he touched his daughter?
And she also turned.
She turned into gold.
Yes, she also turned into gold. And when he was trying to eat an apple, what happened?
That
That also
turned into
turned
gold.
into gold.
The apple also turned into gold. So then he realized that whatever he had, he should have been happy with him, isn't it? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me just read. So you all know the story. I'll just read it.
Yes.
Let's understand. Let us read the 3 popular stories and analyze them from the economic point of view. Okay, King Midas was a very greedy king. Even though he was very rich, he always carved for more and more. One day, he called his court magician and commanded, "Find me a spell that can get me more treasures than I already have." The magician said, "Your Majesty, I can give you a power that no one else in this world has. Anything you touch will turn to gold." The king was delighted with this fortune. Everything he touched turned to gold. He turned the trees, grass, tables, flowers, vases into gold. He thought that he must be the richest man in the world. But in the evening, when he sat down for supper, King Midas was dismayed. His food turned to gold the moment he touched it, even an apple. A little later, the king's daughter ran to hug her father. But alas, the minute she kissed him, she turned into a gold statue. King Midas, who loved his daughter very much, was very sad. He ran to the magician for help. He cried, "Please help me, O magician. I don't want to be rich anymore. I only want my beloved daughter back." The magician changed everything back to normal. King Midas had learned his lesson and was never greedy again. So you all understood the story?
Yes,
This one
ma'am.
had heard before as well, right? About King Midas and his
Yes.
greediness, right? This is how, whatever he was, this is, first of all, he wished, that he wanted to become a richest person in the world. And so the magician granted him his wish. He gave him the power that whatever he's going to touch is going to turn into gold. So what he was very happy initially, because when he saw the trees turning into gold, the table turning into gold, the chairs turning into gold, he was very happy. But then towards the evening, when he sat for his supper, even his food turned into gold, and more than that was his daughter turning into gold. So that was very sad to
Ma'am,
him.
with good, bad also comes, ma'am.
Yes, very good. That's true, very true. So then he pleaded the magician to, that he does not need anything anymore. He just wants his daughter back. So the magician changed everything to normal, and then he regretted. He learned his lesson that we should never be greedy. We should be happy with whatever we are having. Fine, you all were aware about the story. Next story is the emperor's new clothes. I don't guess you all have heard this before.
No, ma'am. I've heard the first story, ma'am, in Marathi. We had it last year, not the second one.
Acha. Okay, so the second story is new to you all right? So I will not disclose the suspense. I will read it to you all. So it becomes interesting for you all to listen. Ready? Shall I read the second story?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
You understood the first story?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
All right, second story. Once upon a time, there was an emperor whose only interest in life was to dress up in fashionable clothes. He kept changing his clothes so that people could admire him. Once, two thieves decided to teach him a lesson. They told the emperor that they were very fine tailors and could sew a lovely new suit for him. It would be so light and fine that it would seem invisible. Only those who were stupid would not see it. The emperor was very excited with this offer, isn't it? And ordered the new tailors to begin their work. One day, the king asked the prime minister to go and see how much work the two tailors had done. The minister saw the two men moving scissors in the air, but he could see no cloth. He kept quiet for fear of being called stupid and ignorant. Instead, he praised the fabric and said it was marvelous. Finally, the emperor's new dress was ready. The emperor could see nothing, but he too did not want to appear stupid. He admired the dress and thanked the tailors. He was asked to parade down the street for all to see the new clothes. The emperor paraded down the main street. The people could only see a naked emperor, but no one admitted it for fear of being thought stupid. They foolishly praised the invisible fabric and the colors. The emperor was very happy. At last, a child cried out, "The emperor is naked!" Soon everyone began to murmur the same thing, and very soon all shouted. The emperor was not wearing anything. The emperor realized the truth, but preferred to believe that his people were stupid. So how was the story?
This was really funny,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
this was really funny, ma'am.
It's really funny, isn't it?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Oh, that's the reason I didn't wanted to tell you the story before I read it, so that when I read it, that is quite enjoying. So let's go on to that previous page and see. So this was an emperor. He always wanted to wear fashionable clothes, and he always wanted people to admire him. So two thieves, they tried to teach him a lesson. What did they do? They went and they told him that, okay, we are going to stitch new clothes for you. It's going to be very light, very fine, and invisible. Only to those people who are stupid. Okay, it will be visible to the people who are not stupid, right? Now, the emperor gave them the chance to stitch clothes for him, and then Well, he sent his minister to check how much work was done. Even the minister, when he went, he saw these people, these thieves, they were just moving the scissors in the air and there was no cloth. And he also was afraid, you know, that people will call him stupid if he'll say that nothing is visible. So he said, yeah, it's visible, it's very beautiful. Same did the emperor do, right? And one day, you know, he dressed up with this new cloth, which was invisible, and he went on a parade. All the people in his territory, they also saw him, and they were also quiet. Because if they say that nothing is visible, they would be considered as stupid. So they don't want them to be called as stupid. But children, as we all know, children are innocent and they always speak the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Irrespective to the conclusion or whatever people think about them. So one child, cried out in the entire crowd saying that the emperor is naked. So the people started murmuring and shouting. Now, emperor also realized this, but he still believed that, all these people are stupid. That's the reason my new clothes are not visible to them. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Next, there's one more story, I guess. No, there's one more story, I guess. Just check. Okay, 2 stories were there. Clear? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Next. Now I will come to the conclusion. Okay, when I just explain to you what exactly it is, we will discuss about these stories in detail when we are doing the question answers. Now, these are the stories, but why these stories are, given in this particular chapter? How are they related to economic time? So we will study that when we are doing the question answers. Okay. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, entrepreneurship. You remember you all told me entrepreneurship means what? Entrepreneurship. Well, who's an entrepreneur?
Ma'am, setting up.
Ma'am, entrepreneurship is the
individual
process of making a business, ma'am.
Yes, he's the one who set up his business. He sets up his own business. Please underline, entrepreneurship is the process of setting up a business, which is different from any other economic activity like being employed or practicing a profession. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, the person who sets up the business. This is important. See, the person who is setting up a business is called an entrepreneur. Okay, just underline person set up in business, entrepreneur. Now, and the person, the business that is being set up, that is called as enterprise. Okay, whichever business the entrepreneur is setting up will be called as the enterprise. Clear? Clear, children?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes,
What,
ma'am.
what is an
Yes.
entrepreneur?
Ma'am, entrepreneur is a person who is
person
making up a
who is making a
business.
business.
Enterprise.
Ma'am, the business and
Business and entrepreneur setup.
sets up. It's called an.
Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. An entrepreneur is responsible for the creation and expansion of opportunities of other to economic activities. Number 1, employment, and number 2, profession. A business gives rise to other business. Do you all agree with this? One business gives rise to other
Yes,
business,
ma'am.
as you told me.
Yes.
For example, if you are making a car, if you have a business of making a car, so the spare parts of the car, it will generate employment opportunity or for others, number 1. And secondly, it is also going to generate another small scale businesses to provide the which provides the spare parts of the cars, right?
Yes.
And only after assembling all the spare parts, then only the person, the businessman can create his own car, can produce his car, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
please
Yes.
underline this. Entrepreneur is responsible for the creation and expansion of his business. That's it. And he is responsible for 2 economic activities. That is, he provides employment and profession. Please underline that as well. Okay. Underline this. One business gives rise to the other business. An entrepreneur is responsible for the creation and expansion of opportunities for the other. This is the same thing which has been repeated. Thus, an entrepreneur becomes a job provider rather than job seeker, right? For example,
ma'am.
yesterday you all gave me an
Yes, ma'am.
example of an entrepreneur, individual entrepreneur. Who was
Ma'am,
it?
Apple.
Are-
Karthikeyan.
Mukesh Ambani.
Yes, is he a job seeker or job provider?
No, ma'am. He is a
Job
job provider, ma'am,
provider.
because he opened his own company very
Right,
Company, ma'am.
right. Please underline this. Entrepreneur becomes, and underline this. Next is entrepreneurship is the fourth factor of production, the others being land, labor, and capital. So please underline, what are the four factors of production, children? Number one,
Land,
number two,
labor,
Land, labor, and capital.
and capital.
and number four.
Entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship.
Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. The term entrepreneur was first introduced by French economist named, we did this before,
Richard Cantillon.
Richard.
in which century?
18th century.
Yes. Now, if you want to become a businessman, what things you need to keep in mind and what things you need to follow? Let's see the characteristics. Entrepreneurship is a systematic and purposeful activity. Starting an enterprise does not happen by chance or overnight. It requires certain skills, knowledge, competencies that can be acquired, learned, or developed. Setting up a business follows a process and system, making it very purposeful and focused. Okay, so what happens whenever you all are setting up a business? Right? It doesn't happen overnight. If you want to set up a business, what things you require? Please underline. It requires skills, knowledge, competency. Yes.
Ma'am, not just anyone can make a business.
Yes. It can either be learned or it can be developed. Please underline the entire sentence. Now, once you set up the business, it follows a process and a proper system. Clear, everyone?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you need to follow the system. We need to follow have that knowledge, that skills. Now, entrepreneurship is a legal activity. If you are a businessman, you need to register your business. Okay, it is a legal activity. All right. So,
Ma'am, if we don't register it, ma'am, it won't be legal, no?
Yes, it won't be legal,
Yes.
because if you need to register so that you also pay income tax for whatever profit you're generating, right? As services, like workers, we are doing services, right? We do not have our own business. We are doing services, but even if we are doing services, we are giving service tax. Right? So they also
Yes,
need to
ma'am.
give the tax. Now, every enterprise aims to create a value for personal profit and social gain. Underline this, seeking government approvals and following the directives and guidelines make it a lawful activity. So every business needs to be, it is very much important that every business should follow the guidelines given by the government. They should have the approval from the government. Unlawful activities and illicit business cannot be considered as entrepreneurship. Why? Because they are based on risk, right? Government can come anytime and destroy their business if they do not take.
Ma'am, like the business of illegal substances, ma'am.
Yes, even at times you have shops for selling vegetables, right? At times it happens that a few workers sell vegetables on the street. That's illegal because the street belongs to the government and it's for the use of the people, common people, and they are utilizing. So that in that case, what happens? The government official comes and they take away their entire vegetables. Right? Have you all seen that?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes.
over here also, no, ma'am, there was this market in Delhi, ma'am, but it was closed down, ma'am, because most of those was illegal stalls, ma'am.
Yes.
And
Got
ma'am,
it?
there were college students that were selling phones, ma'am.
That's what that will not be called as a legal activity. Next is entrepreneurship is a creative and innovative activity. Yes, if you are setting up a business, you have to produce something new, something creative, something innovative. Then only people will come and get attracted towards your product and buy them, right?
Yes.
So creativity and innovation are an inherent part of entrepreneurship. Innovation could be in the form of cost saving or revenue enhancing, whereas creation of a product or a service should yield value to the consumer and entrepreneur. Clear? So please underline, innovation could be in the form of cost saving or revenue enhancing. And whenever you are producing any product, so it should be creative product, so that
Ma'am, people won't buy if that is not creative. Like there are already other things available.
right,
Why
common
should they
thing,
buy yours?
whenever people go to buy things, they always look for unique things. They will not buy something which is common, even whether it is related to jewelry, whether it is related to clothing or shoes or anything. If they in the market, if they find, oh, this is so unique, they get attracted towards it and they definitely buy. Got it? Entrepreneurship is a production activity. Do you all agree? You are producing a good if you are a businessman in
Yes.
any form? No.
Yes.
An entrepreneur organizes production as perceived business opportunity. He uses knowledge about the availability and location of resources and optimally combines them. He uses negotiation skills for product and market development. So being an entrepreneur, he does not just need to have a knowledge, okay, this is how I'm going to make the product. Okay, he also need to make sure that where his factory or where his industry should be located. It should be the very peak area, market area, where people will get attracted. People will come to their enter their shops, and his task does not end after producing the good. He also needs to have negotiating skills, marketing skills to market his product. Yes or no? Now,
Ma'am, if he does not follow a proper and a good strategy, ma'am, his business could end up in losses, ma'am.
yes, that's the reason,
Yes.
most of the people enter into this business occupation, but very few are successful. Have you heard this?
Yes, ma'am.
Many
Yeah.
people, have this dream of becoming a businessman, but everybody's dream is not fulfilled because these are the areas where they lack in. All right, to underline this, he uses knowledge of availability of products, location, negotiation skills. Just underline the keywords. And market development.
Ma'am, making a business is a really risky thing, ma'am.
It is but if you if you'll get a hang of it, you will earn like anything. So then you don't have to sit and work. Then other people will work for you and you will sit and enjoy the fruits.
Yes.
It's that, that dream. So you need to fulfill
By not
those
having a
demands.
Midas touch, ma'am.
Yes, please go on to the next page. Next. Entrepreneurship is a risk-taking activity. That's what, see, Mariam.
Ma'am, see what I said, it came true, ma'am.
Yes, this is what they knew that Mariam is thinking this. So let's include it in the text, isn't it, Mariam?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
Entrepreneurship is a risk-taking activity. Do you all agree?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
You are
Yes.
investing your hard-earned money if you want to start a
Ma'am,
business.
for anything you have risks.
Yes, it's just that you need to be confident enough to bear the risk. Not everyone can has that potential to bear this risk. Okay, compared to employment or profession, entrepreneurs take bigger risks. Please underline this. Why can one person tell me employment or profession compared to businessmen? Entrepreneurs have bigger risks. Why?
Ma'am, because ma'am, if we are an employee, ma'am, we are not giving our money, we are just giving our hard work, ma'am. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, ma'am, they give their money, their time, their power, everything.
No, anybody else? Yeah, you're right. But I was looking for something else. Why bigger risks as compared to them? What is the comparison? See, if a person is employed, whether it is a doctor, he is working in a hospital, or if it's a teacher, they know that if they work for the entire 1 month, towards the end of the month, they are going to receive that salary.
Yes, ma'am.
Fixed salary, right? So they do not have that risk of,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
my salary will be down this month, or they have that one specific range and they will get that. But in case of entrepreneurship, if the
You
month
have to
begins,
do.
towards the end of the month, he is not sure whether he's going to end up gaining profit or he's
Or
going to end up losing.
losing profit.
Yes. Yes or no? So
Yes,
that's the
ma'am.
Yes,
reason
ma'am.
we say that they have bigger risk. Their risk-taking amounts to the fact that that the expected or anticipated profit may not equal the realized or actual profit. Please underline that. The expected or anticipated, please underline that the expected and anticipated profit may not be equal to the actual profit. Yes. This happens with the businessman.
Yes,
If they are
ma'am.
expecting towards the end of the month that, okay, I will be getting so and so profit towards the end of this month. But it is not, he's not sure that he will actually get that profit or not, right?
Yes,
So the
ma'am.
greater risk is when the actuals are lesser than expected. Please underline this. Yes or no? He has expected, okay, I will at least get this much amount of money by the end of this month. So if he's getting extra, it's fine. If he's getting whatever he has expected, still it is fine. But if he gets below what he's expecting, then he's having a loss, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Because whatever money he had invested, he's not getting that money back after doing so much of hard work.
I mean, the money he is gaining is lesser than the money he put in the business.
Invested, very true. Clear? All the characteristics, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's
Yes,
revise
ma'am.
number one. What is the first characteristics?
Entrepreneurship.
Ma'am, entrepreneurship is a systematic way.
and purposeful activity.
Number two.
Entrepreneurship
It is a legal activity.
Activity.
Number three.
It's a creative and innovative activity.
Number four.
Entrepreneurship is a
Production
production
activity.
Number five.
Risk
Entrepreneurship is a
Risk-taking activity.
Clear?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, next. Next page. All right, now need for entrepreneurship. It contributes to the gross domestic product, or we can also call it as GDP. Yes, if you have maximum entrepreneurship, that it is definitely going to, add or contribute to the gross
GDP.
domestic product, GDP. It results in capital formation, yes? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am, it does.
Yes.
It generates business opportunities to others.
Yes.
Yes.
Now,
Yes,
if,
ma'am.
for example, Reliance Fresh, where they are selling vegetables and all.
Ma'am, they're also giving people the opportunity to come and work there.
Come and work. That's true. That's what I was about to say. Got it?
Yes,
If it's
ma'am.
Reliance Digital, so they are employing workers to come and sell their digital, whatever digital appliances they have, electronic appliances they have. Clear?
Ma'am, they are doing their business, and in one way, they are also helping others, ma'am.
Others, yes. It contributes to improvement in efficiency. Yes?
Yes,
It
ma'am.
increases the spectrum and scope of economic activities. So the more businessmen, the more enterprises you have, you have the scope of having more economic activities. It impacts the local communities. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, the local communities can also then think that they can also be a bigger person like them.
Right. It fosters the spirit of exploration, experimentation, and daring. To start a business, you need a daring. You need to have that courage of experimenting.
And they
something.
inspire other businessmen who want to
Yes.
create a business.
See, and you need to first explore yourself and understand, so which business, if I want to start, which business I need to start, which business is in demand, and then it needs experimentation. You don't know whether it will work or not work, and then you need a daring to face whatever is the end result. Got it?
Ma'am, if you were to start a business, ma'am, what kind of business would you start?
It depends. Different. We have different business opportunities. It depends. We are not taking that bigger risk. That's why we are employed. Yes.
Yes.
Let's do the quiz and let's understand whether you understood the content. Have you all understood the content?
Yes, ma'am, of course.
Okay, dash is the process of setting up a business.
Entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship.
Very good.
NEUR.
Spelling is wrong. Who is it?
No, ma'am, I look here and
Please submit. Next. The
I was
person
thinking.
who sets up his business is called
Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
Next. The term entrepreneur was first introduced by French economist Dash in his writings in the 18th century.
Richard Cantillon.
Please help him, children.
T-I. T-I-double-L-O-N.
ILLON.
Very good. Next. An entrepreneur organizes dash as per perceived business opportunity. What he organizes. This is crucial.
Ma'am, enterprise, ma'am.
Entrepreneur organizes dash as per perceived business opportunity. Come on. Okay, so it is production. All right. Next. Entrepreneurship is a dash activity where every enterprise aims to create value for personal profit and social gain.
Legal activity.
Legal activity.
Yes. Please freeze and let's see if you all are right. Very good. Very good, everyone. So this shows you have understood the content. And I really appreciate Shlok for giving the answer of production. Very good. Keep it up, Shlok. Next page. Oh, we are done with the chapter?